glad. How are you, young man? What's your name? Who's singing the national anthem? Oh, both of you.
One of our friends, too.
What's your name, man?
I'm Boone Beachy.
Boone? How old are you?
10.
And you're 8? And what about your other friend?
Tuscany Riveri. I think she might be 10, too.
Cool. Where are you in school? Where do you go?
I go to Skyview Elementary.
How is it? You having a good time there?
Yeah.
You learning a lot?
Yeah.
What do you think we could be doing better in our schools?
I don't know.
If there's like one thing, like you had a wish for your school doing something a little better for you, for helping our students learn, what do you think that could be?
If I was going to be honest,
Yeah,
probably
be honest.
more recess time, because our 5th grade only gets like 15 minutes of recess.
Yeah, it's interesting you raised that, and a lot of people would laugh at a kid saying that. It's actually true.
Yeah.
It's 15 minutes a little short per day because you got to have, the ability to release a little bit.
We get 30.
You get 30.
Yeah, but next year we'll get like 50.
I think it's not a bad topic, actually. I've heard there's actually some people with PhDs that would say the same thing in education, believe it or not. I'll give it some thought. How's that?
Yeah.
Thanks for singing the national anthem, guys.
You too.
All right.
Kids are growing up in that state within a country that's the greatest country known to the history of mankind, the shining city on a hill for the rest of the world. Those kids gain a certain self-confidence, a certain gumption to be able to achieve the things that they were told were impossible. It's no accident that that is the Ohio that John Glenn grew up into, born, raised, living right here in Ohio when he became the first American to go into orbit around the Earth. It's no coincidence that was the same Ohio that Neil Armstrong grew up into when he became the first man in human history to walk on the moon, born, raised, living right here in Ohio as he did it. It's not an accident that that was the same Ohio that the Wright brothers grew up into, born and raised right here in Ohio, becoming the first people to take flight. We were the state of excellence in the United States of America. And you know what? We can be that state again, because if you think about it, not just for rah-rah rhetoric, just think about the hard facts. We have every gift we did the first time around. The same natural resources: coal, natural gas, oil underneath our ground. In fact, if you think about it, Brian knows this, we now know natural gas is valuable. We didn't even know it was valuable back then, and we have an abundance of it. I mean, Saudi Arabia is to oil in some ways as Ohio is to natural gas. Look at the depth of natural gas in this state. All we got to do is utilize it. We have the same great geographic location at the heart of the greatest nation known to man, the Erie Canal to New York City, Ohio River to the Mississippi. 60% of North America's population within a single day's drive of this state. Fertile farmland, every bit as good as when the pioneers who discovered Ohio came here the first time around. God has blessed our state with every natural gift we could wish for. I say this in one of the most beautiful parts of our state, and I will say one of the most beautiful parts of our country tonight, right here in this county. I will tell you, God has blessed our state with every gift we could wish for to be the state that leads America back to greatness. All we have to do is to actually believe in ourselves and our ability to do it again. And I'll tell you this, speaking hopefully as your next governor, I will make sure that if Silicon Valley led the way for the last 10 years, it is going to be the Ohio River Valley for the next 10 years. We're done with the Rust Belt. We're bringing the Platinum Belt right here to Ohio. Shut down of coal plants, I'm just going to come out and say it, not in unhedged terms. All right, the shutdown of coal plants was downright idiotic across much of this state and much of this country. But we can't change the past. The sad part is once you shut down a coal plant, it's very hard to bring it back. It aches. It hurts us. You can't change the past, but we can still change the future. A lot of those sites that are still plugged into the electric grid, at least we can replace them with natural gas-fired power plants instead. And we have to do it because if we don't do anything right now, if we just stay the current course, we're going to have rotating power outages in this state in 5 years. I mean, that's unthinkable. I talked earlier today about my grandmother, whose funeral in Springfield we just came from. She grew up in a village in rural southern India where my dad would actually make us visit when I was in second grade in Cincinnati. In third grade, we would go in the summers. They had rotating power outages there. I know what that looks like. Okay? We didn't grow up wealthy here. We grew up middle class. But boy, were we glad when we could come back to our home in Butler County, Ohio, and turn on the lights in Evendale, Ohio. 10 times out of 10, it comes on. We took it for granted before we left. We come back from those summers, we say, oh boy, aren't we glad to be back. Or you open the refrigerator in the morning, the milk still hasn't gone bad. That's pretty nice. A nice thing we took for granted before, and I'm pretty sure that's what my dad would take us to show what we otherwise would have taken for granted to actually be grateful for here in the United States. Well, guess what? Now in California, they have those rotating power outages, and they're coming to Ohio in 5 years or less unless we change course. So we've got to take the permitting timeline. We're going to work together on this, Brian, you and I and others and your colleagues in the state legislature, to make sure that it's not 36 months to build a new natural gas pipeline. It's going to be 6 months or less in this state. Shouldn't take 3 years to permit a water treatment facility. It should be 3 months or less as it is in Indiana. What's your name, brother?
My name's Blake.
Where are you in school?
Yeah, senior.
Senior? Where at?
Swiss Hills.
All right, good. Swiss Hills. Senior in high school. What are you going to do next year, do you think?
Work.
Work. Good. That sounds good to me. Bring back a culture of work in America. What kind of work are you going into?
I took carpentry and welding, and I took 3 years of maritime, so any of those trades.
Very good. Give this man a round of applause. Carpentry and welding. We need both of those things. I'm glad you brought that up because, as I said, I want Ohio to have the best four-year college degree programs in the country. Why wouldn't we want that? But we also have to be the state where every son and daughter of Ohio who wants to become a welder or a carpenter or an electrician or a mechanic or a plumber or a machine operator also has that same path to the American dream that I did without burdensome four-year college debt, without actually occupational licensing requirements. Earn while you learn programs as early as high school. Let me ask you, young man, what did you say your name is?
Blake.
Blake? Were you able to earn some money during high school as well and put that money in your pocket?
Yeah.
So would you like a little bit more of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm in favor of, right? And the Vanguard Sentinel, where I visited, is doing this. Earn while you learn programs as early as high school so that our young men and women can gain that self-confidence instead of feeling like if a four-year college degree isn't for me, then you check out and disconnect. Right? So many sitting in your parents' basement, playing video games, smoking pot, ending up on government aid. That's the cycle of dependence that we're going to have to break. And Blake, I'm proud of you for leading the way. Thank you for coming tonight, speaking up tonight. I wish you nothing but success when you begin work after graduation next year.